I'm here today with Amy and Tarek. Amy and Tarek are my friends on Facebook. We met on Facebook, actually, all of us. We're all part of that Alliance of Independent Dentists. I was a little concerned about what you guys were talking about, so I want to make sure we understand this. Now, some of you may think, why do I even care what's happening in Virginia? And I will tell you that this is yet another example of mismanagement and deception that some of these local and state organizations have out there. And unfortunately, it can hurt our patients. It can hurt patient care. I want you guys to take a minute to tell me who you are and where you practice. And then I want to jump right into it. I want to talk about what is the whole thing. And we want to explain it in 10 minutes so people can understand. Amy, tell me about who you are.
Thanks, Bob. My name is Amy Adair. I'm a second-generation pediatric dentist. I served in the Navy for 8 years, and my husband and I now live in Burke, Virginia, and my practice is right here in Burke, Virginia.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here. Tarek?
Hi, Bob. My name is Tarek Badawi. I'm a general dentist. I live in Ashburn, and I practice in Sterling, Virginia. And I've been practicing Virginia for 10 years now.
Wow. Okay, guys. So what I want to do is I want to take a minute explaining what dental loss ratio is. Okay. Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, created a regulation that medical insurances have to spend a certain amount of money that they collect in premiums on patient care. Because dentists carved themselves out of that act, we don't have it. Massachusetts, with the help of Dr. Mo Riscala, who spent $3 million of his own money, got a dental loss ratio, which is the same thing as medical loss ratio, passed. Every state started thinking, hey, we need this as well. I want to talk about what is going on in Virginia and what is happening with the dental loss ratio, and what are your concerns? Amy?
So what is happening in Virginia is a dental loss ratio reporting legislation was passed in both the House and the Senate unanimously. And they have a different definition for calculating the DLR. And that's what we're going to go into today.
Okay. So as I understand, dental loss ratio can be calculated real easy, right? This is how much we collect. This is how much we spend on patient care. Divide it, and you get the ratio. So what is happening in Commonwealth of Virginia that you're concerned about?
Let me share my screen. I think that's going to help. Okay. So the DLR reporting legislation in Virginia that was passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. This is the definition. It is money spent on patient care divided by X. And X, yes, X is defined as premiums collected minus exclusions.
To me, this is going to give you the wrong number. Is that what your concern is?
That is my concern, because when you make your denominator in a fraction, when you make that lower number smaller, your ratio gets bigger.
So you're trying to kind of give us some examples with different insurance companies, right? Go ahead and explain this to me.
Sure. So I have 4 columns here of just kind of sample numbers in there, but this is to tell the story of what can happen with the way that the legislation is written. So you have insurance company A, B, C, and D. In the top row is the premiums collected by the insurance company. That's their income. The next one is money spent on patient care. That's how much money goes back out towards their patient care. And then you have these other expenditures and other exclusions, such as taxes, nonprofit expenditures, and administrative costs.
I'm mainly interested in this insurance company D, because this insurance company D appears to be very greedy. They only spend 50% on patient care. The true dental loss ratio is 50%. But we're all getting a report that it's 77%. Is this what you're trying to tell us?
Yes, that is my argument. When the concept of a DLR is talked about in the public eye, what is being advocated is that patients should know what the dental loss ratio is, because they deserve to know how much of their money is going back out towards their care. So when you're looking at the Virginia DLR, which has those exclusions in the calculation, you go over to insurance company D, and if the Virginia DLR is reported at 77%, well, that's telling a narrative to the patients that 77 of their $100 is going towards their care. But that's not the truth. That is an extremely misleading calculation, an extremely misleading ratio. 77 of their dollars is not going to them. In actuality, only 50% of their dollars is going to them. But because of the way that the calculation is created, where nonprofit expenditures can be removed from the denominator, it manipulates the ratio significantly in there.
Dental loss ratio is based on how much money you spend on patients, not how much money you spend on taxes or nonprofit. Or it's amazing. Tarek, jump in here. What's your take on this?
I think this number is misleading. All these calculations don't represent the true DLR. The true DLR, as you said, is the incurred claims that insurance companies pay divided by the premiums that they collect from patients. And this is how they are presenting this to the governor of Virginia, that uniform reporting will allow employers and patients to make informed decisions with regards to their healthcare dollars. But this is not a good informed decision if you're giving me a misleading number. You're deducting activities that improve the quality of care, non-profit community expenditures. It is just not the right way to go. This number is extremely misleading, and the public deserves better.
Problem here is that they're trying to find data. I applaud them, right? I mean, every state and every Commonwealth should try to collect data so they can set a nice dental loss ratio, right? Unfortunately, if you have the formula wrong, you're going to get the wrong data, and that's not going to set the right number. And I believe you guys have documents in your possession that says Delta Dental has no objection to this.
Virginia health plans as well.
So Virginia health plans are the insurance companies that are there. They had no objections to this either.
Correct.
No.
The information sheet that was given out to us at the Virginia General Assembly meeting for Lobby Day says that there was no opposition from the Delta Dental of Virginia, as well as the Virginia Association of Health Plans. And honestly, when I read that, I raised an eyebrow, and I was like,
Why are we concerned about what they think?
Yeah.
Well, because I would think they would be vehemently opposed to it. So I'm questioning, why are they not opposed to this?
I want to stop here and offer the same amount of time to any of the officials in the Commonwealth of Virginia to come and respond. I think you guys have an executive director. I'm open to come and explain it to him, because I'm curious to see who was behind this, and why is this not a concern to the board of directors or board of trustees, whatever they are? Why are they not speaking out and leaving it to two delegates? Not that you guys are not important, but you know, the board of directors or board of trustees need to be addressing this, and why, and not now, before it passed. Is this too late?
It's not too late to bring awareness to the issue, Bob. It's not too late to involve our fellow Virginia dentists to look at the issues and talk to the leadership and the Virginia Dental Association to do the right thing, because this impacts patient care. Employers will not get an accurate number for DLR, and consequently, they can't really distinguish between a company that spends more money on premium on patient care versus a company that spends more money on other expenditures, which are the exclusions. So I think every Virginia dentist and every Virginia delegate should care about this and talk about this and apply pressure to get better legislations in the future. Because remember, this would not trigger a DLR. This started as a DLR. We have the response of our CEO or executive director saying that it's the position of the Virginia Dental Association to enact a DLR. So the VDA is in favor of enacting a DLR. But a DLR that is based on inaccurate calculations or misleading calculations is no good. We need to push to get better legislation passed. The Virginia Dental Association, in the House of Delegates meeting that we had in January, they distributed some promotional materials talking about this bill, the Dental Insurance Transparency Bill, and they said that, verbatim, Delta Dental of Virginia and the Virginia Association of Health Plans do not oppose this. They don't have any opposition or objections. And then after me and Amy spoke on that video that we did in my group, Commander Doctors, we got the response back from our VDA lobbyist, clearly saying dental insurance carriers, dental insurances hate this. They hate this. So who should we believe?
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Again, inconsistencies are everywhere, and to me, it almost sounds like when I heard about NCOIL, first the insurance companies bragged about it, but I hear from others, oh, the insurance companies are trying to fight this. It almost sounds like a campaign of trying to appear they're opposing this, but okay, we give something. It's amazing to me. I want to bring attention to this chart again. This is really important. If you're watching this, look at the green and orange. When you look at the orange, which is the data calculated based on this formula that you guys have, the range are kind of close to each other. But if you go up and calculate the true DLR, which is the money spent on patients, ranges from 80% to 50%. This cannot happen. You have to have set numbers. And we're not doing this for anything else but patient care. Amy, tell me about why this is important for the public to know.
If the public is being informed that the DLR is 77%, 80%, 82%, 84%, just like you said, Bob, it's not really that different in there. But if you're calculating it with a true DLR, it's very clear what their decision would be for an insurance company to choose with it. And that's really what it needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to thank you, both of you guys, for being here and explaining this to us. I know we have a lot of issues that we deal with on a local, state, and national level, but this is important. This is important for people that we elect to work for us, people that we hire to work for us. Do you have anything to say at the end, Amy, that we haven't covered?
Nope. I just wanted to end with one quote that I read from a book, and I think that it resonates not just in this, but in all aspects of our lives when we are leading with, with our teams and whether we're raising our kids and things like that. But it's just a really, it's an interesting thought. And it talks about what's the definition of culture. Culture is as much about what we encourage as what we actually permit. So what does that mean? Let's think about our kids. I may tell my kids, hey, don't do this, don't do that, but really their actions are going to be gauged by what I allow them to do, what I permit them to do. So my argument with this is, let's not permit the insurance companies from being able to manipulate the data.
Tarek?
Bob, you mentioned a point before that there is something for everyone here. There's a benefit that has been taken by the for-profit insurance companies by having their taxes deducted that counted on the exclusion. And there's also something for the non-profit companies. They get to deduct community expenditures. My closing thoughts would be that I would encourage every Virginia dentist to join the VDA if you have not joined, get involved, get educated on the issues that affect your patients' lives, and speak up.
I also want to end with a quote from The Art of War that says, move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there is something to be gained. Fight not unless the position is critical. What is the hurry, people? why do we rush into these things? Let's see what Massachusetts does. Let's collect the data and come up with a plan for every state. You want to do a national, do a national. You want to do a state by state, do by state by state. But rushing into these agreements and legislation is against the public. Thanks again, guys, and hopefully we can do this again.
Thank you, Bob.